If there's one thing I noticed, as far as I know, this is the first dinosaur documentary that got a second season. Documentaries that are very focused on dinosaurs usually last for several episodes, 5 episodes, maybe a little bit more, and then that's it. Unless there's another show I'm completely unaware of. Anyways, hello guys, JoAnn speaking here, and welcome to this video. Prehistoric Planet got a sequel, or rather a second season. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of suspecting that what we saw in the first season wouldn't be the last we see of this series, because while I was listening to the soundtrack on YouTube, I saw a tagline that reads Season 1. At the same time, I wasn't sure because things were quiet for a long while. Well, fast forward to March 2023, I was made aware that Season 2 has been confirmed, and there's not enough words to describe how hyped I've gotten when I saw the news. Fasting forward, I managed to watch all 5 episodes of the sequel, and honestly, it was a lot better than I expected. I'm so happy to see a sequel to this phenomenal series because this is a perfect series that portrays the dinosaurs and other creatures with them as natural living animals rather than stereotypical movie monsters. And of course, giving scientifically accurate dinosaurs the spotlight they deserve. My point still stands on how the dinosaurs were portrayed, and I don't want to repeat a lot of the stuff I've said in my other Prehistoric Planet video, so I'm going to explain the best I can with what I like about the sequel. The first thing I like are the choices on the newcomers. I want to bring up Pachycephalosaurus, and I will say it was a big coincidence because in my other video I did a list of dinosaurs I love to see next. This dinosaur was one of them, and well, wish granted. Really awesome to see it in a documentary. The beak looks small on these guys, but it's still doable. Majungasaurus was another great choice. Thank you, Prehistoric Planet, for not making this dinosaur a stereotypical cannibalistic monster. Cause, newsflash, cannibalism isn't restricted to just one dinosaur or just a few dinosaurs. Any carnivore can resort to cannibalism when things become really desperate. There are numerous of others, including Isosaurus and Rajasaurus. I also loved seeing Osteraptor in Prehistoric Planet. I don't recall ever seeing this dinosaur in a documentary before. By the way, even though it's only a baby, I was very surprised to see Pyroraptor. Last time I ever saw Pyroraptor in a documentary was in Pod's Travels. It got me curious on what Pyroraptor would look like as an adult if there's ever going to be a Season 3. Another thing I enjoyed was that Prehistoric Planet 2 took the opportunity to show more new behaviors with both animals we already saw in the first season and the newcomers. Corythoraptors taking turns with guarding their neighbors' eggs was interesting, and I'm glad they weren't restricted to just being portrayed as prey animals. We already saw velociraptors hunting, but the sequence of them hunting Prenocephalae was really intense, especially when one of the Prenocephalae got kicked off a cliff. Rapetosaurus taking a mud bath was cute and really funny to see. Let's not forget a few non-dinosaur examples as well, like the small Simosuchus defending itself from a Majungasaurus, and a giant flock of pterosaurs going on a hunt. We've seen some pterosaurs in Season 1 catching food before. However, Season 2 shows a much more terrifying sequence where a Hasgotopteryx flock go on a hunt together. Prehistoric Planet does a good job with showing how bizarre and scary giant pterosaurs can be. Heck, I'm sure there are some of you out there who are relieved that none of them are alive today. Imagine you're out in a grass field just doing your own thing, and then these giant birds come in. It's scary enough to see one big pterosaur come in, but to see at least multiple ones coming after you, it's a horrifying situation you do not want to be in, especially if you're a baby dinosaur. They don't have to be movie monsters to be scary. They are already scary enough as animals. On the subject of scariness, there is one other thing I also enjoyed. I can't talk about Season 2 without mentioning the T.Rex hunting scene. This scene was a big surprise because I didn't think I would see Tyrannosaurus Rex hunting in this series. In Season 1, one T-Rex took down a Triceratops, but it was completely off screen, and now, in Season 2, we got to see a hunt with this dinosaur on screen. And this is a massive coincidence because sometime before this season came out, I was talking to Tristan about what we would like to see in the future, and both of us were like, hey, would it be cool to see Tyrannosaurus Rex hunting? And once again, wish granted. Season 1 has shown Tyrannosaur hunts before, but it's with the smaller cousins, like Nanooksaurus and Tarbosaurs. It would not be till episode 3 of Season 2 where we see T-Rex hunting. I really like how this scene was played out. Instead of one T-Rex, there's 2 of them. To make things even more terrifying, instead of the hunt taking place during broad daylight, it takes place at night. As for the 2 T-Rexes, they both plant an ambush together on a herd of Edmontosaurs, One Rex would rush out at the herd and intentionally cause a panic in order to lure the herd towards the other Rex so that the other Rex would be able to ambush an unfortunate Edmontosaur that got close to it. Then both T-Rexes take it down together. We have seen T-Rex portrayed as both a natural animal and being wholesome, but Season 2 reminds the viewers that while T-Rexes are indeed animals and not stereotypical movie monsters, they are still large and very powerful predators, and they are dangerous to be around when you're not careful, especially at night. The way the camera was showing shots of the Rexes being sneaky and watching the Edmontosaurs was really terrifying. You would hate to be out in the middle of the woods at night while these Rexes are out wandering around looking for dinner. And with the way these dinosaurs can sneak up and get you, it's definitely something out of anybody's nightmares. I'm sure you wouldn't even know you're being hunted by a dinosaur like this one until unfortunately it's too late. The atmosphere was chilling, the music was ominous and intense, and even though this scene takes place at night, it's at least not too dark and it's lit up enough to where you can actually tell what's going on. They don't need a victory roar for the sake of a cinematic shot or even an over-the-top bloodbath. These guys are only doing what they are doing for survival, and I'm glad that Prehistoric Planet brought a scene like this to life. Thank goodness it was not shown in the trailers or teasers because this scene was a big surprise. This is a perfect example of T-Rex being portrayed as a cunning ambush predator. And finally, one last thing. I like how Season 2 showed more on life in the ocean. We've seen ammonites, several plesiosaurs, and mosasaurs in action before in Season 1. However, Season 2 dedicated an episode to showing a lot more on life in the ocean, and I will admit, it was a lot of fun. It's also a good reminder on how strange-looking ocean life can be. I will admit, there were moments that completely caught me off guard. One example, there's some ammonites that look like giant paper clips, and it was really hard for me to grasp that this was a real ocean creature. It was so unbelievable, I had to Google search it sometime after I finished all episodes, and yep, it's real. Imagine seeing those guys today. But, you know, one of the great things about watching a dinosaur documentary is that they can introduce you to species you've never heard of in your life. For example, as a kid, I never heard of Therizinosaurus until I watched The Giant Claw with Nigel Marven in it. And another example, I never heard of Prenocephalae till I watched White-Tip's Journey. And if I had to pick some of my favorite parts in this season besides the T-Rex hunting scene, it had to be seeing the velociraptors and the babies, Beelzebufo jump scaring a Rapidosaurus, the Pachycephalosaurus and Triceratops sequences, and seeing Osteoraptors in action. Overall, Season 2 was a big success. It was definitely a lot better than I expected. I was surprised to see it still taking place in the Cretaceous period, because I was curious on what the Jurassic and Triassic eras would be like in Prehistoric Planet. Although, at the same time, I don't mind seeing more on the Cretaceous period. I'm sure that if Season 2 didn't still take place in the Cretaceous period, we wouldn't get the chance to see a lot more of the dinosaurs that lived during that time, or heck, we wouldn't even get a more natural T-Rex hunting scene. Pretty much the same point still stands on the fact that dinosaurs are animals rather than movie monsters. Although Season 2 does set up a good reminder that there are still some animals you do not want to be chased by. I can't find anything I dislike about it. Prehistoric Planet Season 2 deserves 10 out of 10 sickle claws. That's pretty much everything for now. I heard rumors of a Season 3 coming up, but for now, I'm going to wait on it. If it's true that there's a Season 3, then I wonder what's going to happen next with this series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Fast forward to March 2023. Checkers! Oh, crap. Come on, I'm trying to record here. In the first season wouldn't be the last we see of this series because... Oh, crap, my cat's meowing.